Hey guys, this is just a video of something I made that I thought would be fun to share on here that definitely requires some context first. Alright, so my buddy Noah runs this show called the Adult Fan Fiction World Championships from his Twitch channel, plus 2 Comedy, plus number 2 Comedy if you want to check him out. Basically what it is he gets a bunch of comics, writers, pro wrestlers together, and they compete to see who can write the best erotic fan fiction on random topics that either they've chosen or been given. Think comedy show meets 50 Shades of Grey meets the deepest, darkest corners of Reddit. Anyway, I was on the show last night, and I wanted to write about the horniest topic I could think of, so of course I chose the 1923 New York Yankees. This is not a sketch, this is a video I made with specific show parameters in mind. Enjoy! Hello, boys and girls. I'm going to tell you the story of the 1923 World Series winning New York Yankees. The year was 1923. It was a time when men were men, women were dames, and this mustache was still socially acceptable. Who's Hitler? Ha! The New York Yankees had just won their first World Series title against the crosstown rival, the New York Giants. The game had been long, hard, sweaty, and veiny, and all the boys were looking forward to getting back to the locker room, showering, and finally breaking off a piece of Babe Ruth's sweet, doughy ass. That ass had the consistency of 2 leather couch cushions full of cream cheese, and let's just say, the boys had brought their bagels. Oh, gee whiz. You see, the team's lust for Babe Ruth's sweet, malleable ass hadn't just cropped up overnight. No, it had started months before in the off-season. The Babe would keep his body in tip-top condition by chopping firewood for his arms and smoking health cigarettes to toughen up his lungs. You wouldn't think about it these days, but back in 1923, the Babe had the ideal male body type. He was perfect. He had a barrel chest, a barrel stomach, and was shaped like a barrel, which was very attractive in those days because it was a lot more common for people to fall over Niagara Falls in a barrel, and the tighter the barrel fit to your body, the better chance you had of survival. Which drove the ladies mad. It's called Darwinism. Read a book. Anyway, Babe was hot, and his teammates knew it. He had the posture of a lunch lady and the saggy titties to match. Hubba hubba, awooga, boing boing, am I right? That's why they called him the Babe. They also called him the Babe because he looked so gosh darn young. And let's just say 18 was just a suggestion back in those days. If you are a member of the New York Yankees, you also spent a lot of time in the minors. Statutory rape. We have fun here. Where was I? Oh yeah, after noticing the lustful way with which his teammates looked at him, the Babe made them a deal. He said, "I'll tell you what, fellas, if we win the World Series this year, I'll let you all go to town on my keister." The boys were overjoyed. They all started hooting and hollering, "Woohoo!" before the Babe let out a shout. "Whoa, Nelly. This is all on one condition." The team quieted down and exchanged nervous glances. The Babe continued, "The only way the team gets to go down and clap these sweet cheeks of mine is if I get to be a pitcher and a catcher." Ho ho ho! The boys throbbed in joyous excitement once more. "And hey," said the Babe with a cheeky smile, "this big boy's gotta eat." The team gushed and came with excitement. You see, they all knew that the Babe was a notorious keister feaster. This man ate more ass than a cannibalistic donkey. He sucked more butts than the worst chain smoker, and gave more rim jobs than a mechanic working overtime. They used to say that the Babe looked at the world through rose-colored contact lenses, because he always had pink eye. Ha 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 ha. But I digress about the butt he digests. That's poetry right there. What I'm saying is the Babe enjoyed analingus. He really did. The man dove into more scrums than a rugby captain, tossed more salads than a clumsy waiter, and plundered more booty than a pirate. Are you getting the picture? He consumed so much crack that if Nancy Reagan found out, she would kill herself. Really? A Nancy Reagan joke? It's 1923. If we're gonna violate the space-time continuum, at least make it for a good joke. Sorry, I can time travel. It's a whole thing. Whatever, we'll get into it later. Let's see, where was I? Anyway, fast forward to October 15th, 1923. Our boys were World Series champions. The team filed back in the locker room and started to disrobe. First, they took off their heavy wool uniforms. Then they took off their long-sleeve cotton undershirts. Next, they slid out of their full-body underwear and sidled over to the showers. Yankee Stadium had just finished being built in 1923, and the locker room was outfitted with state-of-the-art showers. However, the boys were very eco-conscious and didn't want to waste any water, so they insisted on spitting on each other instead. Boy, were they wet. The Babe started warming everyone up and giving them his signature New York Yankees. That's a hand job. Oh boy. After a little while, he got down on all fours and said, "All right, chaps, let's go. Time to run a train on my caboose. All aboard that's coming aboard. All aboard that's coming aboard." Needless to say, everyone was coming aboard. With Jism. The entire team formed a single file line behind the babe and then proceeded to recklessly run through his anus like a small town stoplight at midnight. First up came the outfielders. Whitey Witt led off, Bob Musial was on deck, and Elmer Smith was in the hole, metaphorically speaking, for now. Following Elmer Smith was Lou Gehrig, perhaps more well known by his nickname, the Iron Horse. The fans call him the Iron Horse because of his dependability and stamina, and the fact that he had played 2,130 straight games without missing a single one. That was a Major League Baseball record until Cal Ripken broke it 60 years later. Anyway, the players called him the Iron Horse for a different reason. And it wasn't for his 2,721 career hits, 493 home runs, 340 career batting average, 1,888 runs, 1,995 RBIs, and 102 stolen bases. No, it was because he had a massive horse cock that felt like an iron beam. He clapped the babe's cheeks for hours on end, only stopping after his muscles were completely deteriorated by his untreatable ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. That's where that comes from. Finally, the deed was done. The babe's tight little keister went from the size of a Lincoln penny to the size of a silver dollar. Holy Sacagawea! When they were done, his fart sounded like... ominous. Very ominous. Suddenly, an equipment manager burst in the locker room and said, "Mr. Ruth, here's that lube you requested." But it was too late. The room smelled like burnt rubber, and Babe Ruth was dead. Holy moly. That's the story of the 1923 New York Yankees. So long and farewell.